So I was doing the garlic, the cabbage, the the mastic gum, sorry, and what's the last thing? The black seed oil. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the last video, but I've been doing those things for a few days now. And initially I noticed, some changes or whatever, but then I woke up on Sunday again, like overnight, reflux had, got to me again, and my singing was crap. But then that afternoon, it was really good again. It was just like, I just don't even, this point, I don't even know what I'm dealing with. I strongly question the tongue surgery that happened, because Alice is not wanting to go up to the roof as it could on the day of the surgery. I'm seeing the surgeon who did it on Friday. And what I was saying before about the garlic and all that stuff, that was to specifically target what's called an H Pylori infection. That's something that can reside in your stomach. It could potentially cause reflux symptoms and also sinusitis issues that I still have to this day. I still get inflammation in my nose and everything like that. But I have been doing some more research into it, and there was a study that was done on people with LPR, that's like silent reflux, that's what I have, and H Pylori, people with both of those, and they were split them into two groups. One group just did PPIs for 4 weeks, and one group did triple therapy. That's where you do PPIs and 2 sets of antibiotics for the same amount of time. Although I usually think you do them just for 2 weeks. Anyway, what the first group, I think it was like 40% success rate getting rid of their LPR, and in the other group it was something like, it was at least in the 90s. I can't remember which percentage, but it was definitely in the 90s, either like 91 or 97% success rate getting rid of LPR. So it's like, if I do have this H. pylori infection, that gives me a lot of hope, because I've just been taking the PPI for ages, and that definitely helped. I've had to stop taking it for the last week, because to do the breath test, you have to, that I did today, in fact, you have to stop taking PPIs for a week. So, I just can't remember what I was saying. So the study, I'm really, really hopeful that I have H. pylori in my stomach, because then I actually have an answer. Then I can actually go and attack that issue. And because when I was doing just the PPI, definitely I've had less reflux. At least my throat's been less irritated. When I saw the voice specialist recently, when they put the camera down, he said that, it's definitely less irritated, but it's still something, still irritating your throat. So you need to figure out what that is. So I'm on that, obviously, journey to figure out what that is. I found that on the day of the tongue surgery that I had recently, I was definitely finding that helps, because I was swallowing correctly, even if it was just for, half a day or a couple of days. I was definitely swallowing better, which gave me less reflux. I was finding, because it's almost like I could get that bit which I couldn't before. But yeah, so first group 40%. Sorry, I keep going around, but first group 40%, second group in the 90s. So if I can get these antibiotics, and if I have the H. pylori stuff, obviously, if I get these antibiotics and then combine that with the PPI, then that's if I have H. pylori, obviously, then I can hopefully actually eradicate this, because, as I said before in many videos, like, I've done all the diets. I feel, at least, I've done all the diets. I've done, the sleeping like this. I've done PPIs. I've done antacids. What else? Like, the spray bottle of alkaline water, try and kill the pepsin, all that stuff. And like, it's like it helps a bit, but, and this is one of the things, this is one of the complaints I have, and, I'm either complaining at, just the general advice that we get given for LPR, or maybe something else, but one of my issues with it is it's always very, very defensive. It's like you're going to war, and it's like we'll stay in our keep and just try to defend rather than actually go and attack the issue. It's like, don't eat all these things for 3 months, make sure you reduce stomach acid, and like hope that your lower esophageal sphincter or upper esophageal sphincter, depending on if it's LPR or GERD or, possibly a combination of the two. And it's like just hoping that that's going to heal. It's like, well, you do that for months and like then you slip up one time and you're back to square one. It's just that's crap, right? I think it's rubbish. So yeah, I just to me that just seems like such a poor way of going about things, and because as I said, I've done all these things, they haven't seemed to help. So if it's this H pylori thing, and then I can actually attack that with the antibiotics and with the PPIs, and then get a probiotic after to restore the gut health. Because I'm obviously concerned that I'm going to be killing everything down there, not just the infection if that's what I've got. But it's like at least that's with the antibiotics you're actually attacking the problem rather than just like being defensive and hoping that. As I said, it's like hiding in your own keep and hoping that they won't attack you, and rather than actually going into battle and trying to fight it, because that's more, I guess it's more my character. I'd rather just attack the thing rather than be like hoping just it's gonna get better. Yeah. Anyway, so I had the breath test done today, and just before, if you do a breath test yourself, no PPIs for 1 week, and you can't eat or drink for 6 hours. Now, I tried to go in there a day after not having a PPI and try to convince them, like, oh yeah, please can I do the thing now? It probably doesn't make that much difference if you've had the PPI yesterday. They're like, no, like just wait 7 days because you want the best result. Because otherwise, if it comes back that you don't have it because it's messed with the result, you're gonna have to go back to your GP and you have to get a new script and all that stuff. Or you may have to go to a different doctor who's going to want to give you another pathology script or whatever it's called. I think you'd call it that. So yeah, like, and the other thing is no drinking. Now, I woke up this morning and I went straight to the pathology thing, but I'd had a few sips of water because I was like, oh, surely some water, that's not going to hurt. But yeah, and seriously, they were like, no, you can't do it now. You have to wait 6 hours. So I then wait until like 2:30 in the afternoon to actually I was able to have lunch, like my breakfast technically, because I waited, 5.5. I didn't do quite 6, I did like 5.5 hours. When I'd had that water and been rejected for the first breath test at a different pathology clinic. And interestingly, so I do recruitment for a medical company here in Sydney. So I actually know the person who like kind of runs the pathology clinic at where I work. So instead of having to wait 3-4 working days to get my Urea breath test result back, I'm hopefully going to get it tomorrow or Friday, which is really cool because then it's before the weekend. Because something that, and I haven't actually mentioned this yet, but I've got a recording session next Saturday with a family friend who's like a proper producer. So I really need to, have my singing then. Like I'll do anything to make sure that's going to work out well because it's such a good opportunity. And obviously with all this stuff coming up now, it's just like such bad timing. So I need to have it good. So I'm hoping and praying that like they're going to come back tomorrow or Friday and be like, yes, you have H pylori, yes, we'll prescribe you 2 antibiotics, which you can take for a couple of weeks and gets rid of the infection, and then you can start restoring your gut health and all that stuff, and hopefully that will reduce your reflux to a point where it's not going to be as big of an issue anymore. Yeah, that's what I hope for, and because it's kind of like if they come back tomorrow or on Friday and they're like, yeah, you don't have H pylori, it's not, you don't have an infection. I honestly just don't know where I'm going to go because there's the possibility of fundoplication as a surgery if you've got a proper, LES issue there, or maybe a high atrial hernia. I've got an endoscopy coming up in probably a couple months at the public hospital, which is free, thankfully. Praise the Lord. But hopefully I don't even need that because this problem will be sorted out then. But yeah, no, I've seen a bunch of anecdotal reports online. People like, oh, my LPR was solved by targeting the H pylori stuff, which is awesome. And maybe I'm part of that crowd, and it's possible. I know that I think like 50% of the world has H pylori infections to some degree. I think it depends on kind of your demographic, or your race. Like, I think it's like African American people. So sorry, I actually mean African people living in Africa and also in Asia. I think they've got or any Eastern Europe as well. That they've got more, statistically they have more H pylori than other demographics, which is interesting. So there's a chance that that's the issue and that I can get that sorted out. But yeah, like I've done so many things, as you will be able to tell on this channel. But I still have a voice sounding like this. Yeah, I still have throat irritation, which means like just bring your vocals together. It's not simple, And I'll sing really well for 3 days or whatever, and then it's just back to just crap. And then you have to wait a week before you're able to sing again. So it's it's a crap situation. And it's really, the other thing is, it really, really affects my mood. Like, and it's almost like I'm a bit of a slave to my singing voice. And I think if you're a singer as well, you would know what I'm talking about. It's like, if you're not singing well, it's really it really affects kind of your identity, and it's a case of how do you balance that. Because I find it's like when I'm singing well, I'm just like, oh yes, I can do this, I can become a professional and everything, it's gonna be great. And then when I'm not, I just like kind of see no way out of it, no hope. And it's such a bad way to go about things, but that's kind of how I function at the minute. And yeah, it's driving me insane. So anyway, look, I'll report back when I get that test back. As I said, I hope and pray that it is that, so that I actually can get something solved. And if it's not, I have to take stock and figure out something else, do some more digging. But yeah, that's the situation. I mean, if you're battling similar things and you've tried everything, we're in the same boat. So yeah, wish you all the best. And yeah, hopefully if I can help in some way with my journey, then that'll be doing some good work. Yeah, I'll see you all soon.